Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Movie Magic Show for Wednesday, the 29th of June, 2022. I am one of your hosts, Shane Bailey, joined by my wickedly talented cast. To my right, it's the film falating, TV show hating, thought elaborating, Mr. Movies, Ben Stapleton.
Hi, Shane.
Hey, Ben, how are you?
Nice digs.
Oh, thanks. Yes, new setting for the show. That's right, the first episode from my new apartment, and look at the glorious white walls that used to be brown, but I painted them.
Hey, you gotta make your bed every time we go live.
It's a great incentive. That's half the reason why I've done this. So, and to his right, it's the dulcet tones in your headphones here to engineer a sincere atmosphere. Terry Fear.
What can I say? Life is glorious.
Good to hear, my friend. Hello to Maxi Geet in chat. Everyone has plain white walls. What is going on? That's it.
Oh, geek. Yeah.
That's it. We're consistent now. It's like we're in the same room. It's like I can reach over to Ben and pat him on the head here.
I did paint a feature wall in our house that we moved out of down here, which is a lovely blue, Maxi Geek. So if you want to see a different color wall, watch some of the previous episodes on the VOD. I think you can view them on YouTube.
All about that.
I need to get I need to get some decorations going on, or maybe it's a bit of RGB. Like all my RGBs are now in the living room behind the OLED.
Yeah, some RGB would be nice.
Yeah. There's not much room for. There's room for stuff right in front of me on this wall, but you're never going to see that. So, anyway, thank you to everyone who's joining us. If you're here for the first time, this is the Movie Magic Show. Every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, we chuckleheads get together to love, like, bash, and trash the latest the entertainment world has to offer. If you like that, follow us here on Twitch. Catch all our past episodes, like Terry mentioned, on our YouTube channel. Just search Magic Casts on YouTube, one word. You can catch all our past reviews there, and follow us on Twitter as well, at Movie Magic Show. We'll notify you when we're going live and which films we're going to be reviewing this week. We have one core topic for you, and that is Jurassic World Dominion, the sixth film in the long-running Dino-tastic franchise. We'll be getting into that in just a moment. Before we do, we're going to play some games as well, but before we do, we need to set up our end games. These are games we like to play with you at the end of the show, so stick around. First among them are our film quotes. We're going to give you two separate movie quotes. You need to guess which films they're from. I refer to the dulcet tones of Terry Fear for movie quote number one.
Would? Okay, movie quote number one. Oh, I'm so pretty. I'm going to hit you so hard, your children will be born bruised. It's not said like that, but that's the quote. Oh, I'm so pretty. I'm going to hit you so hard, your children will be born bruised.
No idea, Ben.
That first sentence has nothing to do with the second sentence.
It does, because it does.
Maxi says six full length film. Battle at Big Rock is technically the sixth. Oh my goodness. Don't even know what this is. Battle at Big Rock. A short film in the Jurassic franchise, I take it. And the second quote comes from yours truly. Here we go. Good guys win, bad guys lose, and as always, England prevails.
Oh. Nice.
Sorry, say it again. It was such a short one.
Good guys win, bad guys lose, and as always, England prevails.
Very British. I like it.
Do you know, Ben?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm trying to go for the obscure quotes for this film. They're the obvious ones. But yeah, a bit more obscure. And the other game we like to play is 6 Degrees. We're going to give you two actors. You need to try and link them via actors they star alongside. Mr. Movies.
I sure hope these guys aren't in the same movie, and I can't think of it. George Clooney and Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, I've got a gut feeling they are in the same movie, but maybe I'm just thinking about someone else. I don't know. But anyway, okay, that's pretty good. Two good actors. We'll see if we can connect them at the end of the show. Before we get to the end of the show, let's get to the start of the show with our first review. It is going to be of Jurassic World Dominion. I'm going to head on over to the deets here. Jurassic World Dominion is a 2022 American science fiction action film directed by Colin Trevorrow, written by Trevorrow and Emily Carmichael, and based on a story by Trevorrow and Derek Connolly. It is a sequel to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom from 2018, and the sixth installment in the Jurassic Park franchise, and the third film in the Jurassic World franchise, and the conclusion to the storyline started in the original Jurassic Park trilogy. As with its predecessors, Frank Marshall and Patrick Crowley produced the film, with Trevorrow and Jurassic Park director Steven Spielberg acting as executive producers. The film stars an ensemble cast including Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Sam Neill, DeWanda Wise, Mamoudou Athie, B.D. Wong, and Omar Sy. Dern, Goldblum, and Neill reprised their roles from the Jurassic Park trilogy, appearing together for the first time since the 1993 film. The film is set 4 years after the events of Fallen Kingdom, with dinosaurs now living alongside humans around the world. The film was planned as early as 2014 as part of a future Jurassic World trilogy. Filming began in February 2020, but was suspended in March due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It resumed in July and concluded 4 months later. Filming locations included Canada, England's Pinewood Studios, and the country of Malta. Unlike its two predecessors, Legendary Entertainment was not involved in the film's production, as Universal ended their partnership with the company in 2019 after the expiration of their 4-year deal. Jurassic World Dominion is distributed by Universal Pictures and was theatrically released on June 10th, 2022. The film has grossed $752 million worldwide, becoming the fourth highest grossing film of 2022, probably behind Batman, Top Gun, and Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
It received generally negative reviews from critics who felt that the franchise had run its course. IMDb, audiences, 62,000 users have given this one an average rating of 6 flat, while the Metascore is 38. Gentlemen,
Ooh.
what say you for the Rotten Tomatoes?
29.
Yeah, you. I think you're going the same way that I was thinking. This is not a good movie. I don't want to just go one higher, so I'll go 2 higher.
Oh,
Let's go. Let's go 31. Because then you
31 on the money, Terry. Well done.
No. Is it really that low?
It's exactly 31% rotten.
Probably Terry would bloody Prices Right me like that.
No. I went too higher. So because
He-
if
he
it was
went
30,
right
you
on.
would have won. If it was 30, you would have won. And if
No, you would have won. You're closest without going over. 31.
I'm saying if it was 30, because he said 29.
30, right.
Yeah, if it had been 30.
Thanks, Terry. You gave me one out.
Yep, you're welcome.
Of 71. I had 71.
It's a bad movie. I knew it had to
be.
be low. You jumped in before I got to say mine. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. This deserves I think this deserves 31.
There you go. Yeah. So
Is it certified rotten?
So yeah, rotten. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Rotten. I just want to see Jurassic. I didn't look at this up early, but if I go to Jurassic World and then Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which is a masterpiece in comparison with this film, 6.1 on IMDb for Fallen Kingdom, so slightly better.
Just slightly better.
51 Metascore, so critics definitely liked it more than Dominion. And then the original Jurassic World, 6.9 IMDb, 59 Metascore. So both from audiences and critics, it is on a downward trajectory.
Yeah.
The old mate who directed this one wrote the first one.
Trevorrow, yeah.
Trevorrow wrote, and did he direct the first one as well?
He did direct the first one,
Jurassic
and then
World,
a new director, J.A. Bayona, came on board.
Yeah, he didn't have anything to do with this. Oh no, wait, he wrote the second one but didn't direct it. That's what it is. Yeah,
that's right.
So So this Dick has written the 3 Jurassic World movies, and he also wrote The Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, but he did direct. Wait, hang on, no, maybe I'm thinking of someone else. He had a hand in Rogue One from memory.
Did he?
Okay, maybe I'm thinking about someone else. I'm wrong. Rogue One does not appear on his credits. Who am I thinking of? Keep talking, Ben.
Almost an okay movie on his list, but
yeah.
But it turns out we're just making it up.
Yeah, it's lies. Bold-faced lies.
Oh my god, so Gareth Edwards. I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
I know where I got this mixed up. Gareth Edwards was a writer director. No, he was. Oh my god, what is his? He was on Godzilla. I'm getting my monster movies mixed up.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking of.
The other monster screamer.
The other monster person.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Terry.
Hey.
On the money, Rotten Tomatoes, 31%.
Sorry, dude.
Go first. So what? Quickly thoughts on the first Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and now this one.
Okay. So quick thoughts. The first one, I think, the first one and this one have something in common, which is an over-reliance on fan service. In my opinion, the first one definitely, because there's so many homages, and it's well, as Ben, Ben's encapsulated thought on the first of the Jurassic World movies is my favorite.
Not steal my thoughts as well as my score, Terry.
I'm not gonna. I don't mean to, but like Ben was like, it was like they were self-aware and they made the Jurassic World movie a deliberate, like, let's not learn from any of our mistakes from the original mistakes we made with these dinosaurs. In which case it's kind of a meme of itself, which I think was Ben's thoughts of the first movie. So I don't mean to step on his toes, but that's kind of, I would say that this movie kind of fits the same bill. It's kind of trying to wink and nod and give people things that they like from the original trilogy and from the initial two movies that precede this one. If I had to sum this movie up in like a single word, I would say it's unsubtle. This, like, it's super heavy-handed throughout the entire thing. Everything is very, it's almost like playing a modern video game now that isn't a part of like the Demon Souls or the Dark Souls sort of video games.
Yeah,
very hand-holdy.
I would go so far as to say it's obnoxious.
It is.
This
is an obnoxious movie.
Yeah.
There's no, it's like the bad guys all look like, as in the bad guy goons are like the quintessential bad guy goons. They're unclean, like they've got like beyond 5 o'clock shadow, but not quite a beard. Like they're scruffy and gross.
They're not using iPhones, which you're not allowed to do or whatever. You remember how that's like a thing?
Right.
And it's shown, like it very much clearly shows the type of phone that woman bad guy is using. Like for some reason, the phone gets like a full second or 2 or 3 in her introductory. Right in the center. It's like, look, everyone, not an iPhone. I'm a bad guy. Keep that in mind. Let's go. And
exactly. The bad dudes don't get to use the good phones. And it was just, throughout the whole film, all of it's just like, and it's not like the film had boatloads of like product placement, which is nice. There was some, because like there's lots of cars and things. But yeah, the overused tropes, like you've got the super genius bad guy, which you see in a whole bunch of like Bond movies and all sorts of other kind of franchises and things like that. This guy was at least kind of comical and bumbling, which was kind of a fun minor deviation. Like he's very, very smart, but he's not very competent when it comes, and he's got virtually no interpersonal skills, which is I suppose a little bit fun. I found it kind of funny. But you've got like this, I don't know, most of our viewers will have watched the trailers, because not many people #foil or spoiled by dodging all trailers. People know that you've got the original movie cast and the Jurassic World cast kind of meeting in this movie. And so you've kind of got these dual plot lines that are a little bit convoluted in order to pull these people that don't know each other personally into proximity with each other, while also injecting a couple of new characters because diversity and because they felt like it. Like, how are they going to get there? It's going to be a pilot. Okay, what kind of pilot are we thinking? Are we thinking like Han Solo? It's like, well, there's another white guy, so no, how about we get like a sassy black woman? And they got a sassy black woman. And I will say, she's probably one of my favorite characters in the film. Well cast, loved her hair. Like, oh my gosh, that like beautiful hair.
Best thing in the movie.
Yeah. All of the screen time that she took up, absolutely gorgeous, and I think she did a competent job. But like the character itself, there's no investment in it. In this character, she's like the sort of character that in movies 10 years ago would just be kind of like the Walter Mitty pilot that helicopter flies him out to he's just there for that. He's the plot vessel to get them from point A to point B. But she ends up sticking around, which was fine. But yeah, so much of this movie was just really, really meh. Like I didn't care, and I kind of think they might have gone like too big. The threat as well, the type of threat that the dominion of. My head's a mess right now. I'm trying to collect my thoughts around this, but like the overarching threat that the world is facing isn't really how they interact with dinosaurs, because for the most part it seems like business is carrying on as usual. You've got construction workers that have got like brachiosaurus things that are hanging around, and they just kind of like shoo them away with, you know, flashing lights and a truck, and they leave the lumber yard, and things like that. But you've got this they use the farming of desirable dinosaurs sort of like an analogy or a metaphor for the different types of farming practices that are used now. So, you know, bulk big farm, and not big pharma, but big agriculture business is a bit of a problem. Some of the practices are very ecologically damaging or environmentally damaging, and they kind of shoehorn the dinosaurs into some of these scenes where like they're going to save the dinosaurs from these really bad places where they shouldn't be, and they're getting mistreated and all that sort of business. And it's not alluding to, again, because it's not being subtle, it's very much slapping you across the face with the salmon, that they're talking about the way that we treat animals now, not just fantastic dinosaurs. And then you've got the GM stuff. They're like, you know, genetically modified things. It's like bad, but it's like not all GM is bad. Like, and like genetic manipulation or genetic modification isn't always like we're going to hit it with different types of chemicals to make it grow differently. It might be like we're going to cross cultivate plants to make them bigger, and that's through natural processes to achieve something that would otherwise not have happened because you've kind of put some stuff together. It's how you end up with more robust crops with larger yields from certain types of things as well. And it's very, very beneficial because it means that you're farming more efficiently. You're using less energy to produce more crops. And here you've got a company that's like trying to make super crops, but for some reason decides to make locusts, but prehistoric locusts. And I'm like,
they want to
why?
Like kill the competition. The locusts are designed to eat any crop, but not their crop. So all
they've treated it with something that makes them not do it, but they have no control.
And they think that no one's going to clue into this, and that all the farmers just going to go, well, I guess I've just got to buy so and so's seeds.
Yeah, the more expensive seed from these guys.
Because
that's also bad and genetically modified. Yeah, that's the only ones the locusts aren't touching, and it's just, I don't know, heaps of this. It's like super like anti-big stuff. They're like, you know, but also against the black markets. I don't know. The movie's a bit of a mess. And I think that's probably why I'm having some difficulty keeping my thoughts together, because you've got plotline number one, which is Chris Pratt and what's the actress's name? I can't believe I've forgotten. Yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard, and the girl that they're raising, that was the clone from the first, so the second movie. Out in the wilderness, and they're being terrible parents by keeping her completely shut away from the world for her own protection. And, you know, she gets abducted, and for some reason, because everybody loves the raptor Blue, the baby blue raptor also gets abducted, and the reason for that they provide in the movie is just like, what? Like, fine, okay, whatever. It's just a plot device to get them places. I am kind of choking on my own rage and disgust. It's not a good movie. It's a movie of moments. There's flashes of cool stuff that happens. I love that Ian Malcolm like spears a flaming spear into the mouth of a dinosaur at one point. But while he's doing that, while that is at the same time kind of winking and nodding to him waving the flaming torch at the T-Rex in the first movie, but they kind of flipped it on its head. He's not going to run away. He's actually going to get offensive. Heaps of little nuggets of cool little set pieces and action sequences that are kind of fun, but the meat of the movie is just like it's like tofurkey. It's like tofu turkey. It's not good. It shouldn't exist. And I watched it by myself, and I had to walk around the shopping center for at least 45 minutes afterwards just to kind of collect my thoughts, and I still couldn't really do it. I kept boiling things down. I'm like, it's not good. I can't put my finger on exactly why, but it's like, it's very, very obnoxious. It's unsubtle. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether they know or knew what they wanted the movie to be. It's kind of like it's trying to be more things than it manages to carry off in a single movie. And when we get into spoiler territory, which I hope that we do, there's a few things that happen that I'm just like, what?
Yeah, I'll throw the spoiler label up a bit later.
Yeah,
good.
But that's kind of my thoughts. We're not to verdicts, but don't spend money on this film. Go watch something else. Go watch Maverick, even if you've already seen it. Go watch Top Gun Maverick a second or third time.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Movies, over to you, sir. Terry struggled to, get his thoughts out there, but has it muddled your brain as well?
No, I've got a list of things I want to yell about.
Get comfortable, everyone. Also, hello to Xbox Gamer Dad in the chat. No worries about being absent, so it's good to have you with us.
Yeah.
Or I think about
hello to Neon Mirror as well. Where are you, Jace?
Oh, Jace is here. Oh yeah, there he is.
He's
the one who said the checking on his own
name. Yeah.
There you go. The more I think about this series of 3 movies, the Lost World, Jurassic World films, the more I am less inclined to believe my original hypothesis that the movie was, or the series is trying to be meta about where its place in film history lies, and the fact that the audience just keep demanding bigger and badder dinosaurs with more action and awesome CGI to no end, and they'll keep throwing money at it. So that's what the movie's doing, and making fun of itself and making fun of the audience, which I loved. I loved the idea that's what it was doing with the first one. And the more I'm thinking about it, the less I think that's probably the case.
Yeah,
this guy is not that smart.
I think they actually believe that this is what
they actually
was going to make a good movie. This
guy writes movies that trades in on credit of believability and the canon of the series that he's writing for a quick buck and a bad review. And so he's done that with Star Wars, where he invented all these crazy force powers that we didn't know could happen, and now it's just like, well, what are you going to do now with the force? Next time someone has to create any IP with Star Wars attached, there's just a ridiculous number of breaking changes that has happened since the last trilogy, and no short part thanks to the last movie that he wrote. But anyway, this particular movie, I slightly disagree with Terry. There wasn't anything to enjoy in this one at all. I almost left. The first note that I wrote was I hated every second of this film. There was nothing, not a single moment of anything for me to enjoy. And wholeheartedly, I think that. I really do think I'm not just trying to be mean because it's fun to be mean sometimes at bad movies. It's one of those movies where I get mad trying to understand the people that do like it and the fact that it is making money, and try to understand how anyone could be confused enough to think that this was any good at all. Okay, things I really, really hated. I hated. Oh, by the way, to the whole movie being self-referential thing, I thought it was funny that they dug up these old dinosaurs, as in the cast of the original films, and put them back into this one. It's like, don't you guys know anything? You're supposed to you don't resurrect the dinosaurs. You leave them in history where they belong. But no, they once again tongue in cheek make fun of themselves and the series that they're servicing by bringing these guys back. And I hated the introduction of the characters. Like you've got Alan Grant at a dig site with his students or his little underlings or whatever, and he's standing there giving a lecture. It starts with, "Why do we dig?" And he's talking about he's just expositioning to these people that have probably already been convinced about digging for dinosaurs because they've
probably been studying it for more than 5 years.
Probably like more than lion's share of the way through a paleontology degree. Yeah.
Some of them are probably on their doctorates by now, and they're sitting there like, oh, Alan's going to tell us why we dig, because I didn't know up until now. I'm going to learn something here. I hated that. The Dr. Sadler thing was even more frustrating. So she appears at a farm to investigate the crop that's been eaten. Some farmer person that's called her up and reported it. And she gives us some fan service introduction to her character, like reintroduction to her character, that she's still the same Dr. Sadler that we've always known, because she still stands on top of jeeps and takes her glasses off of her face in an awkward manner while she's standing agape and astounded at something that's confronting her. Remember the first Jurassic Park movie where she first sees a dinosaur and she stands up in the jeep and she like wiggles her glasses off of her face and she's got that look of horror on her face, like she literally can't believe what she's seeing. Best scene in all 6 of those movies, by the way. I will never not like just really get emotional with that one scene of Jurassic Park. It is my favorite. And they pissed all over it by making her do that again, as if they're saying, classic Dr. Sadler, you remember her. She's still standing up on jeeps and looking agape at something that's...
As if that's like an affectation of her.
It's just part of her character, whether she's shocked at seeing a real-life fucking dinosaur for the first time, having no forewarning that that's what she would possibly see, or a field of wheat that's been partially eaten by locusts. Both on the same scale of shock and awe on her face. Like, these two things are equivalent. And that's just part of her character. Like, I hated that whole thing. I really did. Didn't like it at all. And that was the start of the film. Where are the police and the army and the armed forces, the National Guard, I meant to say? Like, we're starting this movie with some exposition that just spews out of a random news presenter that says, dinosaurs are everywhere in the last couple of years. They've propagated into the thousands and they've spread across the globe and they're causing havoc everywhere they go. And we've seen footage of like a T-Rex in the middle of a city destroying a car and some raptors just attacking people, and people are filming this stuff. And I'm like, this is so ridiculous. Like, there's no way that this would ever happen. Like,
no, not at all.
A bunch of dinosaurs escaped in the middle of America, there would be destroyed cities, but because like missiles have been going off to kill T-Rexes left and right.
Yeah, they're not bulletproof.
They're not bulletproof.
They're not bulletproof.
Yeah, there would be guys with AR-15s
and there's like 400 million.
rounds.
Yeah, there's 400 million guns in the United States.
Yeah.
And that's even made worse by the fact that in Fallen Kingdom, like, other than the estate that decided to pay for the military to go in, or their own private military corporation to go in and save select species, that the world decided, no, we're going to let these creatures die on the island because of the volcano. Like, that's what the world had decided. So yes, I'm completely on board with you, Ben, that yes, apparently in the 4 years between these films, they've been allowed to roam wild because everyone all of a sudden had a change of heart, happy to let them die on an island by themselves. Now that they're with us, maybe we should just, let them roam free.
Let them eat a couple of people a day and survive and propagate and all that kind of crap. But yeah, if your neighbor's dog nips at my ankle, he can be put down if I complain. But the dinosaurs, let them eat us. Ridiculous. Didn't see a single police person in the entire film. It was outrageous how stupid I was to believe this. Like, it was really dumb. How can nobody do security for the most dangerous monsters that have broken out of containment 5 times in a row, which is now the most predictable and repeatable and obvious tragedy that you could expect to happen, by keeping such monsters? And yet again, it happens. They just manage to get through, to break in, to hunt you down, to get past the wall or the door. That's the only thing that you've got. Truly astounding how how stupid we are to take out on this movie. Okay, and then the thing that made me almost leave, I actually made a deal with myself. I said, okay, if Chris Pratt does this one more time, I should just leave. I should just get up and exit the cinema because I'm not going to enjoy anything else. And it's this thing where he goes, oh, hold on.
It gets memed on so hard, and rightly so.
It does? Right. Well,
yeah.
Okay, look, to defend the handout in front of my face, now you can't touch me child argument that he gets into with many a dinosaur, he did it first to Blue, which makes sense because he raised Blue from a blob or whatever you call a baby raptor. He trained Blue with hand gestures, including that one which he demonstrates in Jurassic World 2 movies ago. But now he's doing it to like keep T-Rexes at bay and all these forms of other dinosaurs that have no idea what he's doing.
Ceratosaurus, whichever the two carnivores
the galloping one at the start, that he has to wrangle.
It's become a superpower. It's like the Crocodile Dundee thing where he goes like,
100% is, yes.
Like, but at least he doesn't try to explain it like Dundee. That is,
that's actually in my point here, Terry. The holding out your hand like your fucking Crocodile Dundee trick was really stupid by the end of it.
Yeah.
The CGI looked worse than the shit puppetry that they had. Like they had a mix of puppets and CG, and the puppets looked bad, but the CG looked really bad, very bad. And I imagine that's just because you could probably pick only 10 shots in the film that don't have a dinosaur in it. Like the movie is just, how can we put a dinosaur somewhere in every single scene? And as many shots
they look
as
ubiquitous.
They're everywhere. And as if that's supposed to, like, the idea is you don't show the monster, you keep the monster off screen to build tension. You keep the monster off screen so that it's exciting when it comes back on screen. Instead, it's like every minute there's another velociraptor in front of us. The thing. Okay, this is probably a nitpick. They go into this special dino reserve that the DNA company is keeping all these huge predators in, and they say they just released deer into the park, and the deer are the unlucky ones that become the daily lunch for the big guys. And then there's literally a plane crash that the hero just jumps out of and dusts himself off, and anyway, our heroes are stuck inside this park where they're not supposed to be. It's a terribly scary thing. And the very first thing that happens when Bryce Dallas Howard arrives in this park is there is a humongous dinosaur that just like passes right past her, and it's blind apparently too, so that's fine. And then it like smells a deer, and it just walks right up to this deer, thudding along, and the deer is just like, hey, I'm cool, I'm chill, I'm a deer.
I hated that part too.
And it just like leans over and swipes the deer. And
gives it a smack. Yeah, gives it a proper backhand. Smacks it into next month. They
must have genetically engineered the dumbest deaf deers and with no sense of smell that the world has ever seen to put into this park, because these deers should be able to spot a building-sized dinosaur that's right next to it, and not behind it, by the way. It's like profile, it's side on. One of the deer's eyeballs is probably pointing right at this thing, and it's just like, oh, I'm probably fine. That was a nitpick. That didn't ruin the movie, but I was just like, what? But it's a deer, right?
I don't know. No. I think it's emblematic. In the first movie, they at least had the goat staked down. Like the goat came up and it was literally chained to the thing until
they got a cow inside of a harness, and they slowly
they slow it down, but they're lowering it down into an enclosure that's tiny. There's no escaping.
The cow isn't like, I'm chill, I'm a cow, there's nothing wrong.
It's freaking out.
It knows it's about to be eaten. Animals seem to know this. To go out and to like
there's
hunt a deer yourself, you have to like lie in your own piss all day with like camo on and not breathe and hope that one is stupid enough to cross your path. Because if you like go and try and chase one, they're just like, he's right over there, let's leave. Like I can see that dude.
Heaps of the noises that you make are noises that it is just like That's not normal, that noise. That twig snapping, that leaf rustling,
Yep.
that's not like a rabbit. I know what a rabbit rustling through sounds like. That's a predator because it's not in my normal. And as soon as it's that, they just fucking leg it.
The whole goal of this plot, the plot was we need to break into this company's headquarters and get DNA evidence of these superbugs, because then the world will believe the innately obvious. And by the way, there's no police, no other people investigating this thing. It's going to be me and my partner from like 35 years ago, and we're going to do this thing together. We haven't kept in touch. We're not friends anymore, but we've like been reunited because
plot.
Anyway, let's go. And so like and I'm like, what's with this DNA sample thing? Like, get into the lab and just take a fucking photo. Like, pull your phone out and go like, look, here we are in the lab. There's a photo. Like, how can you prove, like, you've got a sample of a bug, right? You could take a sample of a bug that's out in the fields eating all the crops. And you would still have the same amount of evidence. But instead you would like walk out and go, no, I promise I got this from the lab. I got this from the bio company's lab. They're doing it. But you could have made up that anyway. Just grab yourself, a sample from any old bug, and then say, "Look, I found this in their lab. They're the ones that are doing it." Because they know that they're the ones that are behind this whole conspiracy. World hunger is going to spread, and all. It's going to be the end of the world kind of business. Yeah, the whole plot thing made less sense than the world building made sense. Nothing made any sense. Let's see, what else did I hate other than every single thing? Oh, I already alluded to the plane crash thing, but yeah, something that you kind of gleaned on for a sec there, Terry, was how everything is hand-holdy, that nobody is ever really I'm never expecting anybody to actually get injured. Like, remember when named characters would actually get killed? Like in Jurassic Park, the lawyer who was kind of like annoying, but still like an innocent dude, and he's just there to he gets like murdered in front of everybody, and then old mate, the South African hunter guy, is the best.
Clever girl.
Everyone loves him, and then Sam Jackson. There's three right off the bat, and this movie, not a single good guy.
None.
Really,
only goons.
Close.
Yeah. The closest would be the French guy who's in the Lupin series. He's the French chef from Burnt that is friends with the thing. Like, he's the one that comes closest to getting killed by the Uber Raptors that are like, chemically trained to never give up. And apparently some O2 bottles was enough to deter it for long enough for someone to come through and save the dude. It's like... Yeah,
it's hand-holdy to the point that you're in a plane that's engines have failed and the plane is going down, and what's his face is talking to what's their face and saying, I'll find you after this. I'll be right back. Essentially,
I'll be right back.
I'm gonna be in a plane crash just here, and then we'll meet you down there. So that's fine.
So give me 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes. I'll be down there.
Pulls the eject button on her seat. She gets to go down in a parachute.
Yeah.
And they literally...
planes like that don't have ejector seats. Like, that plane is like...
There's no exploding canopy. There's no removable canopy for the chair to go up. She just goes like up somehow.
Yeah.
And it's fine. But anyway, they literally just fireball into the ground and then hop out.
Man, ice water too, by the way. Yeah.
And then they just run away from a dinosaur. Oh, I'm laughing not because it was any good, but because it was...
It's ridiculous.
So silly. Like, I hated myself for watching. Like, I should have left. Because the ending, it didn't matter. Like, I really should have left. I didn't miss anything. Anyway, I think I'm exhausted now. That's all I got.
It's all right. I'll chime in here. Guys, I love this movie. Oh, what a fucking disaster this movie is. Where to begin? I like Jurassic World 2015.
Yep.
I think it has some fantastic world building. I am I can be on board for the predictable but still in moments heartfelt story where the older brother hates his younger brother, but they're left alone, and so now they need to work together, and a relationship actually forms. A relationship of humans that I actually care about happens on the screen. None of that is here in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm totally on board with you, Ben. I didn't believe it for a second. I didn't feel any sense of threat for any of these characters for the 2.5 hours that I was in my cinema chair. I was very acutely aware that what I was seeing was just dumb. It is really it's a bad plot. It's a bad execution of a bad plot. And I'm like you, Ben. I feel stupid for... I feel as stupid as the movie thinks I'm meant to be to enjoy this film. There's way too much convenience, and it really just feels like a cash-in on the franchise, because the way that they hamstring these older characters together to make any kind of sense in this plot and this scenario is just is so lazy. That that's all you can point to in this film and say, I don't understand why this exists outside of the fact that in a couple of weeks' time it's made almost $1 billion. That's the only reason. So yeah, I can't point to any redeeming qualities in this one other than I'd say DeWanda Wise, who played Kayla Watts, the pilot. I thought she was, gorgeous, and first time I'd seen her on the film, so that was nice, I guess.
It was a bit of a what's it called? A Mary Sue? Is that what I'm thinking? Like
I don't know.
There was nothing she couldn't do. Like she was just there to save the day, and then she would say something cool.
She
and
flies a helicopter at the
her.
end. She flies a helicopter at the end when that's a completely different type of aircraft. Like, when you're a pilot, you are either a fixed-wing pilot or you are a non-fixed-wing pilot. And helicopters aren't the non-fixed-wing things. And, I maybe she could do both. Maybe. She's just so avid about flying that she wants to be able to do both. But
Jason in the chat, everyone in this room is now dumb for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on you.
That's it, yeah. That's quote. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I had
That's
a point
Billy
there
Madison, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you mentioned just like the badassery of her character. It's just like there's no like iconic schlock, sort of cringe but cool action moments in this. There's no go to knock the two dogs' heads together down, or sleep sort of Arnie sort of one-liners or anything like that.
Do you remember, Shane, the scene where the Gigantosaurus breaks through the observatory and they all play a small role in beating it back?
They're all playing a 6-player co-op game, and they've got to beat the final boss. One stabs it in the eye, and the other one pokes it with a taser. And
Chris Pratt runs forward and goes and shanks it in the side, at the side of the jaw, 7 times, while someone throws something in its mouth, and another person, throws something at its eye.
They were doing a raid together. That was the final boss. They've got to chip in a bit of damage.
And then it just goes, bugger this, and it kind of just walks back, and then the theme music plays.
Yeah. Yes.
You've got the Jurassic Park theme.
Yeah.
Look at what
that's because they did the event. Because they did the Avengers shot with fucking Sam Neill and Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum and all these characters that are meant to be the heroes, the superheroes of this cinematic universe.
Oh, that happens just after, by the way. You've got Alan Grant, 7-year-old, holding on to what's his face, to Jeff Goldblum.
Ian Malcolm. Yeah.
Ian Malcolm. Like, you're supporting a whole Ian Malcolm with one hand. He's fallen off a ladder, and you've grabbed him, and you're laying prone, and you've got him, and it's like, now what? You have no upper body strength to pull a whole man up with one arm. What are you going to do now? The dinosaur's right there. And then somehow he just clambers up, and then they run or something. So I don't even think I could hold onto a Jeff Goldblum for a second.
One hand, no way.
With one hand, I don't think so. Even though it's just the friction of our grip strength is going to keep you there, there's no way I'm pulling you up. But I don't even think I could hang on for that long.
Yeah. I don't know if I feel like some of the stuff that we've talked about would traditionally be spoilerish. So if you want to slap a spoiler on, because there's a handful of things.
Well, let's do the verdicts first.
Don't
I'll
bother.
be surprised if it's not red across the board.
Just red. I see red. I see red. I see red.
If you see this and you liked it, I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't want to know who you are.
I would be curious for maybe 30 seconds. I would probably give 30 seconds of my time to someone who would
Yeah, it's
try
like
to
30
defend
seconds.
this.
Go pitch me
Like,
why.
pitch me why you
any
like
kind of a good movie.
Yeah, like what about this did you enjoy? And like if there would be inarticulable things that come out of that person's mouth.
It has to just be something like, well, you see, I put it on, and then I do something. Like, I'm
you're not watching
cleaning the house, and then I look
Yeah.
over at a dinosaur, and I go, that's cute. And then I keep cleaning, and I'm not
Yeah.
actually watching the movie. That's the only thing I could imagine.
You could.
I could accept.
There's a park builder for the Jurassic Worlds. There's two of them. There's a sequel that kind of came out to the game. I would rather watch someone do a playthrough of that if that's what my purpose was. Like, I would put like a 3-hour-long playthrough on YouTube on my computer while I was doing on my TV or something while I was doing the vacuuming. If that's what you're doing, you don't need to watch this film to get that.
The thing for me is just like, even if someone said, well, it was a great action movie, there was a lot of cool action, dinosaurs, explosions, I was like, let me name 20 other shit action movies that are still better than this. I would recommend Jupiter's Ascending. Go watch Eddie Redmayne play a ridiculous character and laugh at it. And watch Channing Tatum, space skate through the sky.
Yeah.
Go watch Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End because it's ridiculous and they're getting married, in the middle of a bloody typhoon.
Yeah.
At least Bill Nye plays a great character. You know what I mean?
Maelstrom at the end. Yeah, that is
the Maelstrom. That is
that is cool.
Gnarly. So many things. Velociraptors are clearly on record, like it's one of the most ubiquitously known things is that velociraptors are fast. They can run like 40 kilometers an hour. Like that's like at the fastest moment of an Olympic sprinter might crack over 40
Oh, you're talking
kilometers an
about the
hour.
laser thing where they're like right in front of they're literally like one arm's length.
And
in
they
front of a
accelerate,
raptor,
like,
and then they all just start running, and immediately it's fine. They've
they're fine. They manage to like kind of bob and weave and duck and roll.
The dinosaurs trip over a crate.
and then like the inverse of that is Chris Pratt's on like a 250cc dirt bike, which easily does 70 mile an hour, which is like way faster than what a velociraptor can run. Like velociraptors are supposed to go 25 mile an hour approximately, which is about 40 kilometers an hour. And like even if it was a 125, even if it wasn't a 250, that's still way faster than a velociraptor. But these things are keeping pace with it. But they can't chase down someone on foot. Like Bryce Dallas Howard is running across the rooftops, which is not ideal running terrain for a person. I mean, you could say it's not ideal running terrain for a raptor either, but that thing can leap and it's just like clumsy and happens to bump into shit and like falls over. And it's kind of speaks to that same plot armor stuff, but it's throughout the entire film. So many things happen where the dinosaurs are just too dumb to like run appropriately, but you've got so many other things in the rest of the movies where the velociraptors are smart tactical hunters that come at things from multiple angles and cut off avenues of escape.
Yeah, true. There's never any stealthiness to the raptors.
They're just
from the first
sprinting
film.
at them, and it's even the second one, like the second film, like stay out of the
the
grass.
second film's got that whole sequence.
Which is phenomenal. That's scary because, like you said, you don't show the monster. All you see is rustling tall grass, and you're like, "Holy shit!" And you can hear,
and you see the people go,
like,
ah!
They get sucked underneath, which is super funny. There's none of that shit's in this film. And like so much of it is just so stupid. But the thing, for me, the most, and you might say that this is nitpicky, but I think this is probably one of the most egregious things.
I love that word.
It's for two things. You've got the boss guy who's leaving. He's like trying to hightail it. They've got this.
Oh, he's 100% a Tim Cook ripoff.
Yeah, absolutely.
The head of Apple. Yeah, 100%.
He's in this tunnel where the subterranean rail system is these capsule trains. They're in they're designed to be in places where they know dinosaurs go. Like, they're like, dinosaurs can be throughout this whole place. So, so stay in the pod. I would think that the pods would be pretty dinosaur resistant. If I had to guess, I'd say they'll be pretty dinosaur resistant. His death scene, what are they called? Dilophosaurus? The ones that spit.
Yeah, the Dilophosaurus.
He gets ambushed by them, but I'm like, you're in a train that, and you can see that it's a seamless thing. Like, there's no gaps. So he's coming back into the train. He gets back into the train, and then from the other end, another Dilophosaurus breaks through the glass. I'm like, how did that Dilophosaurus get to the other side of the train? How? It can't. It can't have got to the other side of that train, because there's, like, unless it happens to be coming from behind it and just coordinated with the other guys. Like, it's stupid. It's really stupid.
Why does he have Nedry's, like, little compartment for stealing the DNA?
The Barbasol can of DNA.
Whipped cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like carrying like a legacy artifact from the first movie, but just because. When he's like packing up his shit from his office, he's like, I'm gonna get out of here and get all my valuable things. This is one of those, which was like probably lost on the island. It was buried in mud. We saw it.
It was literally buried in mud.
And he's like, no, now I've got this. It's important for some reason.
It's a number of things that this film does, using a type of foreshadowing, or maybe like Chekhov's gun. Anything that you see kind of alludes to something that's going to happen in the future. When you see the helicopter thing come in and land the first time, it goes over the dam that they later crash into and parts the snow, and you can see that there's like ice and it's dark blue, and that's what they end up crashing into, almost like it's carved a runway in the snow for them to land into. And then you've got the Barbasol can, which alludes to the fact that he's gonna die the same way that old Fatty McGee Newman did, because that's what happened. He was taken out by the Dilophosaurus. It's like, it's almost like, oh, this is a great place for a Chekhov's gun. It's like, this is a great place for me to put a thing in that I'll later kind of pull back in some way, and it's going to thematically tie back to the older. And it's like, it's a hybrid between like fan service and a Chekhov's gun, and it's stupid at both. It's not good. It doesn't make any sense that he would have it. I don't think it's possible that he would have found it. It would have just been like any other piece of trash that slowly deteriorated on the island from the first movie. But one of the other things, the T-Rex coming through and being silhouetted by the water feature that was a perfect circle, as if it was the logo for Jurassic Park. I'm like, it's really on the nose. Like, it's, again, unsubtle. It's just, it's not, and like, the T-Rex has to win. Like, why does the T-Rex have to win? Like, it's clearly stated that the other dinosaurs, like the largest carnivore that's ever land carnivore that's ever existed, and it beats the T-Rex. Maybe like it did get tranked in the nose, maybe it was off its game when that particular fight happened. But like, I don't know. And also, how stupid are you to put two apex predators in the same thing? Like, I'm going to bring up the park building game for the second time. I've played the first one a lot. It's actually pretty good. But you can't put predators in the same enclosure. Like, you can't, they fight. And some people have done playthroughs where they're like, which dinosaurs would win? And they put like two things where they spawn out of, and then they invariably fight, and you come to the point where, like, which one's going to be the strongest. It's like the most predictable outcome in the world, and just like them escaping or things going wrong because people just keep making the same mistakes. Like, I don't know. It's just, I hate it. This movie is bad. This movie is bad.
Anything else you want to discuss, Ben, that was a spoiler?
No, there's really nothing to spoil. I mean, of course,
the movie spoiled your day.
They, of course, saved the day. I mean, duh. They do the thing exactly that they set out to do. There's no twist. There's no interest.
Yeah.
There is one twist. The redemption arc of the geneticist guy who's been the geneticist throughout the movies.
B.D. Wong's character.
Yeah, B.D. Wong's character. So he's a bad guy. He's just like,
Yeah.
because I can. Like, we're gonna create the most dangerous and crazy, like, because we're able to. And then he's like, I need to undo this mistake that I've done. It's kind of surprising that there's a redemption arc for that character, which I don't think is earned in any way, shape, or form. But
it's like he's a completely different character all of a
yeah,
sudden.
yeah.
Yeah. There was this one
it's
scene
not really explored why.
where there's actually a few scenes where these giant bugs that just eat everyone's crops are kind of suggested to be some sort of a threat to people. Like, oh no, we're trapped in a room with one, or oh no, there's a bunch of them flying around. There's no real danger that these things pose to you, is there? It's like, oh no, they might annoy us. But
they were biting pretty bad. Like, they came out of the containment chamber with a bunch of lacerations, and like they would eat you. Like they basically put like bug piranha. Like they eat everything. Apparently,
bug piranha.
Yeah.
So there's this scene where Sadler and the Mary Sue pilot lady are just beating them up like they're Jason Bourne all of a sudden. Like, she's got like a taser stick and the other girl's got an axe, and they're like,
that was Bryce Dallas Howard and
oh, was it?
And
they're like doing spinning attacks and like
Yeah.
crazy choreography to kill these flying bugs. And it's like, you're a botanist. What?
Yeah.
You're a 65-year-old lady who like, no to this. You're not allowed to. This is silly. This is just girl power bullshit, like in Endgame.
Yeah.
But other than that,
she's got help. Yeah. Yep.
Other than that, I hate fan service in movies. Like, just you know what? If you know, I love movies that I love, and if I want to think about them again, you know what I'll do? I'll go and fucking watch those movies.
Yeah.
I don't want to see bits that have been plucked out of context of the movies that I love put into bad movies as if to remind me that these are related now, that this shit of a time is somehow related to Jurassic Park is a terrible thing to do. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But this movie's full of that crap.
Yep.
Anyway, that's Jurassic World Dominion.
Yep.
Avoid at all costs. Go watch Top Gun Maverick again.
Hot garbage. Yeah.
Cinema.